Shabbat Shalom. Grand Ascension, everybody. It's me, Nisi. Let me make sure I got the sound turned up really well. I think I do. I think I'm good. I wanted to get into today's reading. Shout out to Chief Red Wolf. I was just over on his live. And shout out to Kitty Meal. I'm actually listening to him right now on my Android. I missed his live earlier. I was hanging out with one of my sons and grandkids. And so I had to go run and do some errands, and I'm looking out the window, and it's raining here. It's raining here in Roman Forest. We've got some little gnarly weather going on, so perfect day to get into the reading. I hope everyone is doing well. Without any further chit-chatting, let's get into the reading. Let me adjust my camera because it keeps sliding down a bit. All right. Chapter 4, Murder of Reality, the hidden symbolism of the dragon. Chapter 4, let's get into it. It's called Fire Star. I looked and I saw a windstorm coming out of the north, an immense cloud with flashing lightning and surrounded by brilliant light. The center of the fire looked like glowing metal, and in the fire was what looked like 4 living creatures. Ezekiel 1, verses 4 through 5, Holy Bible, New International Version, Gideon. The next verse reads, God presides in the great assembly. He gives judgment among the gods, lowercase g. Psalms 92:1, Holy Bible, New International Version, Gideon. The Egyptian noun Shabbat, morning star, celebrates the Sabbath, parallel to the Sabi priesthood, in combination with the angels, or Kaaba. Appellation of the Kaaba, literally messenger, is translated into Latin as the Anglios, or host. Semitically, the Kaaba interconnects with the mystery and is derived from the Semitic verb stem qbl, or kabul, to receive. Its root is from the Egyptian noun kib, K or QEB, which means, in parentheses, a serpent, identified with the fallen angel, in situ to the priestess in her monthly cycle. Serpentius, the Kabbalah, or Kabbalah, to receive, outlines the hidden tradition of the Jews and originates from the Arabic transitive verb kaba, Khabba, to hide or to conceal. The Kabbalah, in essence, specifies a secret oral tradition received from an angelic source, conveyed through word groupings and etymological comparisons. Philological deconstruction of the Kabbalah suggests the Kaaba, which means hidden, extracted from the Arabic eponym Qubila, or Kibili, which is tribe, and origins are correlated with the descending host, the Kaaba. Evidence for the assertion is given in Exodus 24:15-17, quoted from the Gideon Bible, and it reads, When Moses went up to the mountain, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai for 6 days. The cloud covered the mountain, and on the 7th day the Lord called to Moses from within the cloud to the Israelites. The glory of God, the glory of Lord, looked like the consuming fire on the top of the mountain. In the Hebrew text, Yahweh descends upon Mount Sinai in an object called the kabod, interpreted misleadingly as a consuming or devouring fire. Kabod in modern Hebrew is rendered as the adjective kavid, or heavy, or alternatively as the noun kovid, heaviness. The kavid is deduced etymologically from the kavad. So it says the kavid, K-A-V-E-D, is deduced etymologically from K-A-V-O-D, dignity, implicit of divine ascendance from the Kabbalah. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet described the kabod quite literally a heavy thing and recounts the adjective as luminous and radiating. Biblical scholars translate kabod dubiously as glory. Ezekiel likened the phenomenon to wheels within wheels and considered the kabod as a source of a divine knowledge. See chapter header. Now, I'm going to say this. There was on documentary on the History Channel where a gentleman It was on Ancient Aliens. I do not remember what season or what episode, but I do remember watching it. Ancient Aliens had a gentleman that reconstructed the spacecraft from the book of Ezekiel. Let's keep that in mind, all right? So it says, to summarize, the tribal group Kabbalah, Q-A-B-I-L-A, or Kabbalah, is equated with the divine descent in relation to the kabod and its concealment, or Kaaba. Sexual combination between humans and the emissary, the Kaaba, literally the messenger, is identical to the appearance of a snake hominid, the kibi, indexed in Latin as Dracoloniapids. Materialization of the angel, which is in parentheses Kaaba, C-A-B-A, coincides with the beginning of the menstruation, Hebrew el-kabil, to menstruate, cognated with the fertilization, or Arabic habal, or pregnancy. In the Semitic traditions, ovulation is envisioned as a rouge serpent or a menstrual fish, and eel, insignia of the matriarchal line, symbolized as the fire starter or fire star. The oracle is distinguished by her period, coordinated through the cycle of the moon and Venus, symmetrically with the Sabbath. Okay, and here's a depiction. Look. Onset of the woman's period, El Kabil, parallels the vault of heaven, or Cuba. Juxtaposed with the divine conception, Habel, hieroglyphic scribes link Kabil, the woman's cycle, with the Kubha Sabah, the night sky or starry firmament. Kubha, which is firmament, is taken from the Arabic edonym Cuba, Q-U-B-B-A, which is in parentheses vault. Coedgate with the Cubi or Cubby, Q-U-B-B-I, or dome, the vault of heaven, the Cuba, is represented as the arcing female, or a dome, Cubi, associated liturgically with women's periods, the Kabel. Visualized as a matriarch, her navel is the cornerstone of heaven. Additionally, the Cuba Sabah is interpreted by the Egyptologists as the fresh waters of the stars. A conservative translation, the phrase watery firmament, is annotated as the plural noun Kabbalah Sabah, the menstrual stars. This in a cult tradition is known as the fire star, a euphemism of the priestess cycle. Archely, the woman's angelic progeny, Kaaba, which is C-A-B-A, is synonymous with the sky, Kubha, Q-E-B-H-U, Cube, I guess is what you say, Cube. Her menses, or Kabel, mythologized as the sunset or clot of blood. Marked as the singing disc, the emblem is recurrent of celestial pregnancy, esoteric of the dog star, Al-Kalb, twinned with the evening star, Venus. The matriarch is pictured historically as the goddess of the vault, or Cubby, in the Old Semitic Kubha. The etymological to Kubha is a water snake. Metaphorically, a sea serpent, the nocturnal registers a ministrating eel, outlined in Egyptian lore as the deity Apis, a goddess of conflict, refer to chapter 33, scarlet whores, menstrual eels, and ejaculation cobras. Okay, we'll get to that. Assignment of the Kabal, which is the menstrual blood, constitutes kaved, K-A-V-E-D, heavy, identified in the book of Ezekiel with the glory of God, the kabod, a heavy object. Kabil further designates the old Egyptian word Kub-et, a serpent god, an angel, a polymorph translated as the seraph or light. A Kub-el, otherwise Kubra, is adopted in English as the noun cobra. Cobra or cabra. Hooded, the Eurysis corresponds with the rays of fire, pictured as the droplets of blood contiguous with the disc, dome, and cervix. The bloody halo illustrates the menstrual cycle, a clot of blood, equidistant with the sunset, grouped with the moon and Venus. Imagine as the fire star, the red circle is conjoined with the serpent, a solar motif of the jinn or the seraphim. The fertile blood extracted from the priestess wound corresponds to the light, co-signed to the fire star as a palliation of the neophyte sourced from the angelic group Cabal. The bloodline of the scarlet priestess is identified with the Sabi priestcraft, cultic of the Sabbath, unified with the moon and serpent. Islamic customs renders the seraph of heaven, I hope I'm saying this right, Qubha, a Qub, Qeb-HU, water snake as the Muslim shrine of the pilgrimage of Kaaba, from Arabic noun keb or keba or cube. The kebib is translated into Hebrew as let me try this one, kubiyah, Greek kubos, written ostensibly in the hieroglyphs as Qubhe, which is the firmament. Arcane, the cube, is a signifier of the night sky. Foundation of the Kaaba resembles a square, interchangeable with the Kuba, the vault, or Kubi, the dome. Elementally, the square and the circle pertain to the kingdom and the matriarch cover to the serpent and the sky. That's the relationship. Okay, did y'all get that? The square and the circle pertain to the kingdom and matriarch, convert to the serpent and heaven. Serpent and heaven. I said serpent and sky. It's serpent and heaven. Religiously, the Kaaba, Kaaba, shrine denotes the navel of the earth, equated with the epicenter of the cosmos. It's a circle. Linguistically, the Kaaba is relative to the Chaba, concealment, grouped with the Kabel, menses from Habel, rope or cord. Habel transliterated into English as Kabel or cable, and suggests the umbilical cord from the Arabic henonym haba, which is pregnancy. Theologically, the heavenly cube of the Kaaba designates the betrothal of the Sibyl to a deity imputed with human angelic attributes, the Kaaba, reproduced as the menstrual fish or eel, the Qubhu. In summary, the sacred house of God, the Kaaba, is likened to the temple or a womb. Conceptualized as the Qubhu, Qebhu, Qubhu, and in parentheses it says heaven, signified as Kaaba, which is a cube, or the Qubhu, water snake. The Kaaba edifies accords in mystical Islam with the sacred geometry noted by the Platonic scholars. Offspring of the dragon or angel, annotated in the Apocrypha as illegitimate, the castigate, the scarlet whore, and her maternity, the Kabbalah, or the Cabal. The Cabal. All right? I'm going to read that one more time. Offspring of the dragon or angel, annotated in the Apocrypha as illegitimate, castigate, the scarlet whore, and her maternity, the Cabal. Province of the Judaic tradition, the Kabbalah, is sourced from the tribal offspring, the Qubili. A secret cabal, the Qubili ordains Kaaba, a messenger defined as the host, connected to the Kaaba shrine. Philologically, the Kaaba classifies the cube, Qeb, cube, a serpent, disclosed as the QB, an angel. Okay, serpent and angel, interchangeably there. Y'all understand that part? So we're breaking it down. So it says, theologically, the Kaaba classifies the cube, a serpent, or keb, a serpent, disclosed as the Qube, an angel, a being originating from the constellation Al-Kelb, which is Sirius. Okay? And we read that in Claudio Nicelli's book about the planet Sirius. We read about the dome world Sirius, okay? Closely aligned, the Qubile in principle are grouped in the Hebrew traditions with the Shevet or Shevet, S-H-E-V-E-T, Shevet, which is tribe, known collectively as the Shabish, the bastards. Disclosed of the Shibet and its denunciation, the Sabi priesthood marked their origin from Saba, the seven stars of the Pleiades, correlated with the angelic division between the host army and Sirius. Incarnation of the fallen angels, the Qubili moralizes the first Sabbath and the creation of man, sequenced with the Pleiades and the seven sisters. All right. The incarnation of the fallen angels, the Qubili, memorializes the first Sabbath and the creation of man, sequenced with the Pleiades and the seven sisters in the sky. Okay, the seven stars, seven sisters, right? You got that? So it's memorialized in the sky. All right. So he gives a bunch of references and sources here. And let me see if there's anything that stands out with this. The author John A. Keel, in his momentous work, The Mothman Prophecies, observed that the winged being, the Mothman, materialized primarily during the woman's cycle and appeared to be attracted to the smell of blood. Keel notes that the phenomena is similar to the North American Indian entity, the Thunderbird, in which warriors were assigned special duties to protect menstruating women. Oh, we're going to get into it. Did y'all get that part? Did y'all get that? I don't know how I'm looking on camera. I don't know if it's light as too. It's too light or too, am I too dark? Let me see. Can y'all see me? That's about as light as I can get it. Yeah, interesting, right? I just read that. It was interesting. Oh, this book, this is a textbook, you guys. This is definitely a textbook. So that ends on chapter 4, okay? Now we've got chapter 5, which is going to be kind of lengthy, and that's going to go into the fallen tribe, all right? We're at about 16 minutes. So I don't want to make this video too long-winded because I want to make sure I don't lose anyone. So I am going to come back in a little bit and do a reading over Roger Spur's. Dang, it is really pouring down outside. I'm looking out the window over there. I'm going to come back and do a reading over Roger Spur's Mud Fossil University. I was trying to see if he had a PDF copy available. He does not. I would literally probably have to take pictures of it and email it to myself and then maybe go online and do a presentation over on Facebook. But I think at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and just continue to read to you guys, right? I do want to get to a point where I'm sharing PDFs and things so we can break things down together. But since there's no PDF copy available, I'm just going to read it to you like I've been doing, right? So anyway, thank you all for joining me. I'm glad this hasn't been too long today. I hope you guys are having an amazing Sabbath. And I will talk to you soon. Remember what I always say, be the change that you want to see all around this Earth dome, because it is up to you and I to make a positive change. I'll talk to you guys soon.